better. Guess you want this, I want this. Everybody in this world should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better. Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if you try it. You're the artist, and the mess, and happily become the new in your hands.
What's up? What's up? What's good? Live from Bali, baby. I am live from Bali. Let me make a post right quick to let people know that I am here. What's good, people? How you doing? Man, it has been a crazy, I don't even know how many days I've been here. I think we arrived on Thursday, and I have experienced a lot of stuff since I came here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about where I've been, some of the waterfalls that I visited, the temples that I've been at, and a healing ceremony that I had yesterday that was incredibly freaking powerful. So what's up, Amanda? How you doing? Good to see you. I'm gonna let some people come in here before I get started. Hey, Revette, what's up? My community is here. What's up, guys? I hope y'all doing. Hey, Taryn, how you guys doing? Look, Bali is so beautiful, you guys. It's really unreal. This magic here is like exactly like I thought it would be. And I've literally experienced, I don't know, some healing energy yesterday. I sat with a healer, so I'm going to get into that in a second. And I just want to really be here to explain to people, anything in life is really, really possible. I mean, you can make anything happen in your life that you want to. All you have to do is have those deep beliefs and believe it all the way through your core, all the way through your body, and just know that you can create your reality. And I never in a million years thought that I would be sitting here in Bali with my girlfriend, my beautiful assistants from the Philippines. I mean, just that in itself is amazing. I mean, I've been working with these guys for almost 3 years, and we finally meet, and we meet in person in this beautiful, beautiful place. So yeah, I'm sitting here in Bali. I got the Bali vibes behind me. We're at our Airbnb. And today I'm so excited. I get to film a couple podcasts with these beautiful speakers, part of the I Am Creation Summit. And then we're going to head over to Russell Simmons Retreat Center, where there's so many different biohacking tools. And yes, it's going to be amazing. Thank you, Amanda. I look refreshed. You know what? It was crazy because we left on Monday last week, and to get to Bali is like a day and a half trip coming from Florida, coming from where I came from. So the first leg of the flight was 14 hours, and then it was a big layover, and then the next leg was about 10 hours. So I flew that whole time, and we arrived on Wednesday, and I literally slept maybe 4 hours within that period of time. But when I landed in this Bali energy, it was like my energy just went like, I became so awake, so freaking energized. And I'm like, I can't sleep. And I did not sleep the first night. I mean, I didn't really sleep the second night. And by the, fourth night of my non-sleep little thing, I finally passed out and got some real rest. But you can feel it as soon as you land here. I'm telling you, I have been to multiple places around the earth, and when I landed in Egypt, I could feel the energy immediately upon landing. Like I said, when I landed in Egypt, I closed my eyes and the light, it was bright white light instead of darkness. I was like, this is different. When I landed in Cambodia, it felt divine. It felt soft, just like Bali. I mean, when I landed here, it felt divine. It felt soft, but it freaking energized me. I was up like, I don't know. It fed me so much energy. And, everybody was worried because Bali just flooded, I guess, but it's nowhere near, where we had to go. I mean, we kind of took side streets to, what's up, Tiffany? We took side streets to get to the place where we're staying because the main roads were flooded. But oh my God, it's just, we kind of like dodged all the floods. So, everybody was worried, asking, are you guys okay? It's flooded. No, we're totally good. I mean, we've been able to experience all the things so far that we've been able to smash into these short days here. And, I'm just so grateful, so blessed. And so I wanted to hop on here, guys, because, the title is Nothing is Off Limits. Nothing is off limits in your life. Like I said, guys, coming from where I came from, I mean, I was going over my speech that I'm going to say next weekend at the summit. And I was like, dang, I went through so many different stages of my life where everything just got tore down and I had to build it back up, and tore down and I had to build it back up. And it was like the world was stacked against me. My whole life is what I felt like. But really, at the end of the day, what was happening is that I was empty inside. I was not turning the mirror around and looking within to try to create my reality. I was literally using external drama and stimulus to distract me from that empty freaking feeling that I had. And so that's why I attracted so much debacles in my life. It was like the no fear thing. I mean, it's like, it's wild because when I look at my story, I'm like, yo, I really lived these things. Like, I really stood at a doorway when my house was being raided with huge guns in my face saying, move. And I was like, you can't. Like, I'm talking multiple guns in my face, talking about, you can't. Like, this tiny little, look, I am all of 4'11", 4'11", and just no fear, like just standing there yelling at these cops, and all the other instances. I remember when I got caught up, when I was on my hustle journey, and I walked out of the store and all of these cops just, I mean, I'm talking 30 cops. It was like the movies. They, drove up to the door. They got out of their cars. They're like, get out. They were pointing guns at us. They rushed us, threw us up against the wall. It was like a whole freaking movie. And I cannot explain to you guys how this is just so wild to me. Like, I can't believe that I was there and now I'm here. You know what I'm saying? It's wild to me. I'm literally sitting in one of the most beautiful places in the whole entire world with a history like that, with a history of feeling like I had no hope, nobody. I didn't have resources. I didn't have money. You know what I'm saying? I went through so many times in my life where I lost everything. I'm talking broke to the point of just not having anything, almost to the point where I couldn't even feed myself. Like, and now I'm sitting in this country. So that's why I titled this, Nothing is Freaking Off Limits, man. It's like, I didn't, when I started to turn the mirror around and when I started to really jump out of my whole victimhood mentality that I was in and started to really try to create my reality, I didn't have much, guys. I didn't ever really have really anything. And so I know a lot of people think that they're stuck in certain situations, but I'm here to be the freaking living proof that you are not stuck. You're never stuck. I mean, literally, they told me I couldn't get my real estate license because of my record. I got my real estate license. I literally terrified to speak publicly, but I've already been speaking in multiple different countries. It's like these things, it's just my life. I'm literally the living proof that anybody can do anything that they want to freaking do in life. And I'm sitting here literally in Bali saying this, like I had a whole healing yesterday. Okay. You know what? I'm going to get into my rant about that part of life soon after I tell you guys a little bit about Bali, because I think that everyone deserves to know. I mean, a lot of people want to come here someday, and I'm very, very excited to let you guys know that I will be meeting with a retreat center next week, actually in a couple of days. They're hosting the speakers of the summit for a pre-retreat and after retreat after the summit is over. And this place is called Entaya, and it's one of the most beautiful places that I've ever freaking seen on an island. So we have to take a boat there. And so I'm meeting with them to see about my own retreats and throwing my own stuff here in Bali. And I just want everybody to be able to experience this beautiful energy and this change that literally just comes into your spirit and shapes you. I mean, it's incredible, literally incredible. So, I will be doing retreats here next year. I will be having scholarships for people. I will be, because I know people are in certain situations. I know people that the flight is long, even though you can find a cheap flight. But I want everyone to be able to experience this right here. And I know some people are in financial situations, so I will be doing scholarships for people. So people that think that they can't, even though you can, will be able to make it out here. So much love to my community. Let me get into this Bali experience that I've had so far. I've been to a couple different waterfalls. I posted on my Instagram some of the pictures that we took. So it's just, it's amazing. It's amazing. I want to walk this journey with you guys. So I'm going to do a daily blog or vlog. We've been filming, and I just want you guys to be able to experience this for people who might not ever be able to come, because it's just, the beauty is real. So the first day that we went out and experienced this beautiful energy, we went to Tibu Mana. I hope I'm saying that right, but guys, I'm not the best at language or any of the things. So Tibu Mana waterfall. Okay. And this waterfall was so beautiful. And what I love personally is being able to literally go through the jungle, through stairs and hills and just everything, like, you're seeing the jungle and hearing the water. Walking through that is literally freaking magical. It is magical, you guys. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts about even exploring this place. One second, I have to turn on my air because it's so hot. Listen, the humidity here, something else. Okay, one second. I gotta turn on the air, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I'm back. It's crazy. It's crazy because I'm used to hot weather. Look, in Florida, we have hot weather. We freaking have like 80, 90, 100-degree weather. And it's humid. But the humidity here, I'm telling you, I can't put no type of curls in my hair. It's like I go outside and I'm wet. Okay. Anyway, so so freaking hot. But back to the Tibu Mana waterfall. So we got there and we're entering the jungle, right? And so we're going down, and we're going down these stairs, and to my left is the jungle, to my right is just this wall of mountain and plants, and I'm like in pure heaven right now, because I'm like a nature girl to heart. If you drop me off in the middle of the jungle for months, I would actually probably love it. I mean, I got sent to boot camp when I was younger, and they taught me how to survive in the wilderness. So I know how to make fire out of sticks. I know wilderness stuff from being sent to boot camp. So that was one good thing about being sent there. One second. Y'all know it's 7:15 a.m. where I'm at. But okay, my coffee. So as I'm walking down the jungle and down these stairs, I'm starting to feel in my body just a resonance of kind of just flowy magic. And these places, guys, these places around the planet that I have been are significant. They're significant in the fact that they all have specific energetic forces, that the reason why people are attracted to the places, or the reason why huge structures are built at these places, or the reason why they have all of these temples at these different places, is because of the freaking energy. So when I enter these locations, I go into my body and I really try to feel like what is happening, what is going on. And so as I'm walking, I'm feeling this flowy magic through my body, and I'm like, this is insane, right? So we approached the waterfall, and I had to walk. It was so cool. These tiny little bridges. I'm talking like they were probably this wide, with these tiny panels of wood and the ropes. So I'm walking across the bridge, and I mean, to my left and to my right is just like a huge fall, and there's water beneath us, and it's like just, I don't know. The beauty is crazy. I'll be posting the actual location and some videos when I do my vlog about it. But just like the movies, as you walk across those bridges, you have the ropes to the side. It's literally just like those movies. So we get down, and guys, the Tibu Mana waterfall is a hidden gem. Okay, it's near, I think the city is called Bangli, and it's known as the secret waterfall. And locals believed that waterfalls in Bali are sacred and act as portals for purification. So that's why there's so many different waterfalls that include the water blessings. And Tibu Mana specifically is associated with cleansing energy and nature healing. Okay, so that's why I could start feeling this resonance of magic going through my body as we get down there. Okay, and it's just the feeling of being there. It's lush in the center of the jungle, and the sounds of the animals, the insects, the water is like, it's sacred. And, it really, really just brought me back to the fact that nature, guys, is freaking healing. Nature is medicine. I'm telling you, from going through the drama that I've went through, and I'm talking serious drama that doesn't stop. I'm still going through it. That this nature specifically has healed me in a certain way that I cannot explain. And this is so profound for me, guys, because I have literally searched my whole life through doing over 100 different healing modalities to try to fix me, right? I mean, I was just lost in the sauce. When I go back into my story, I'm like, whoa, you were really out there, girl. Like, whoa. So saying that and being able to experiencing all of these healing things in my life, nature is the most simple thing that has brought happiness back into my life, that has brought love back into my heart and my body, that has prevented me from closing my heart. And so being in this jungle next to this magical waterfall was so freaking healing, guys. And I'm telling you, it's like stress strips away. You can feel cords of trauma, of grasp on you. I always talk about how you have to break the chains of your past, of the trauma, to be able to enter the present moment presently without judgment. From your heart space, you have to be able to cut those chains, let go of your history, of your past, the stuff that's holding you back. And it's like when I got right in front of this waterfall, it was like I had this feeling of just, go through my body. And it was like I could see just the cords, like breaking off of my body. It was like something like I could see like a movie in my head. And it's interesting, I meet with my spiritual advisor every week, and she even told me that Bali is going to be a place of letting go, finally letting go so much of the stuff that you've been holding on to. And I felt it there. I'm not lying, guys. When I closed my eyes, it was literally like, I don't know, kind of like the Matrix, when they pulled out the thing from the back of the dude's neck. It's like, it kind of felt like all these cords, all these things that were grasping onto me were like, all the way through my body. I'm like, yo, this is magic. This is crazy. And so that experience was beautiful, guys. I would definitely recommend people going to that waterfall and experiencing that purification, because it was different, very, very different. So then it was funny. So guys, I work out when I'm home, almost every day, like 5-6 days a week. I work out a ton. I'm kind of out of shape right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Yo, I like went on this spree of junk food and movies with my kid because I was tired. I mean, I've been working my ass off for the past 4.5 months trying to build my brand and everything. So like the past week, right before I got to Bali, I don't know why I did this, knowing that I'm coming to Bali and I need to be in front of all these people. I'm literally like, yo, I'm not in like the best shape right now. I literally, I gained weight. I'm like, yo, what happened to me? Oh, it was the pizza. Guys, life is about balance, okay? Let me tell you, life is about balance. I'm not always going to be like Mrs. Holistic, eating all the greatest things and doing all the most. Life is about balance. And my body told me, girl, you tired. Do something for you. And that was honestly spending time with my child and going to the movies, getting the slushies, eating the candy, freaking getting the pizza, So I gained a little bit of weight. My six pack went to a 1-pack. So anyways, it was funny because I was looking at my pictures. I'm like, dang girl, what happened to your 6-pack? But anyways, life is about balance. You have to know that you shouldn't be so stiff inside of your belief system that you're not allowing yourself to have that flow of life, the enjoyment of certain things, And I know I'll be able to bounce right back. So anywho, sorry, my rant about, I was looking at my pictures like, man, girl, not that it's bad. Okay. I still love my body. I love my vessel. I love everything about it. It's just people go through ebbs and flows, and especially women in our cycles. Even when I had my 6-pack, during certain parts of my cycle, I didn't have my 6-pack. You know what I'm saying? Women go through flows and ebbs and flows. I mean, we bloat and stuff. Anyways, back to Bali. Sorry, guys. Back to Bali. Okay. So it was so funny because after we visited this waterfall, we had to climb back up to the top of the place where, we parked at. So I'm, trying to work out, I'm trying to kind of work off some of this extra fluff that I gained through all of the pizza and the cookies. So I was kind of running up the stairs, and, my team and my girl, I was like, you guys, where you at? Like, where are you at? And they were like, girl, you got so much energy. Why don't you run all the way to the top and come back? I was like, okay. So I literally was running like up the stairs, and then I ran down the stairs. I was like, come on, guys, let's go. Ran up the stairs again. I don't know. It's always fun. If whoever has been on tours with me before know that I love to, run through things, get the little bit extra exercise, work out the legs. I mean, y'all have seen some of the videos on my page when I'm running through the shafts in Egypt and climbing up stuff really fast. I try to get it in wherever I can, just a little bit of the extra pump, right? So that was fun. That was super fun. They were all looking at me like I was psycho. My assistants were like, oh my God, how are you doing this? I'm like, the energy. It is because, you guys, the energy here is literally filling me up. And when we went to that waterfall, I was literally on 7 hours of sleep probably in the past 3 days. And I was still filled up. I was like, yo, I felt like I could do that 50 times. Insanity. Okay. Anyways, the next place that we went to that day was freaking magical as well. It's called the Pura Turta Empul Temple. Pura Turta. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm saying any of this right, guys, because I literally, I don't study history. I don't study places, and I don't watch blogs or vlogs. I kind of focus on what I do. So I just go to these places and experience what they are. So I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that for anyone who has been in Bali. But guys, this temple, I'm telling you, it's hard for me to put this stuff into words because it's so beautiful. It almost makes you emotional, just being at these energetic places. It really almost makes you want to cry. Like when you get there, when you talk about it, when you reflect on it, because it's so powerful, So we got there, and the history of this temple is that it was built in 962 AD. Okay. And this temple was dedicated to Vishnu, the god of water. Okay. And this temple is really famous for its holy spring water, which is made and believed to purify the mind, body, and soul. So people from all over the world, guys, come to this temple to bathe in its 30 plus fountains. And it was such a crazy experience because I'm walking up to here, and I'm seeing the beauty of the temples, the detail and how things were constructed, the colors of how things were painted. And I walk through, you got to cover everything up, right? We had to wear these big shawls, and, walked through this area, and I see the water, right? I know a lot of you guys have seen this stuff online, but there's these little, water fountains, and all of these people are inside of this water, just bathing and throwing the water over themselves and just cleansing themselves. And I was like, yo, this is beautiful. I'm not too into the water things. Like, I don't really like to go into places. Like there's a water blessing place in Egypt. I think it's at Dendera, if I'm not mistaken, but it's underground. And so you go underground, and then this water is supposed to be sacred. And I know I was on tour there, and a whole bunch of the tour people were throwing it on their face and like throwing it all over their body. Not a thing that I would do. I'll just suck up the energy of just being at the location. I get kind of freaked out about the water thing, which is funny. I'm going to get into the healing that I had yesterday when the lady had a water, and she was, anyways, I'll get there. So I'm walking through this temple. I'm seeing all these people getting purified by this beautiful water. And I'm just feeling sparkles inside of my body, guys, literally. And, I think I've talked about this a couple of times, but Cambodia is my favorite place in the whole world that I've been to. And as I'm walking through this temple, the energy was almost the exact same. The buildings and the structures of the detail and all of these things was almost exactly the same as Cambodia. And I'm just reminded of that energy being there. And I know that I've had many lives in Cambodia, because when I went to that place, it was like I would return home. Guys, I'm adopted. I've never really felt home anywhere, to be honest. But in Cambodia, I literally felt like I was at home. So as I'm walking through this temple, I'm starting to feel that home feeling, which is wild, guys. I mean, those who are adopted can understand me, but those, that aren't can't really understand the fact of like never feeling like you're, at home somewhere. It's kind of like you're just floating around in the universe with nothing to really like, anchor you. And so when I felt that home feeling in Cambodia, it was, one of the greatest feelings I've had in my life. And so walking through this temple, it reminded me of that. And I'm feeling this wholeness and the sparkles of magic go through my body. And I'm just like, this is incredible, incredible. So it was a beautiful experience. That was the first day that we really toured and went out and saw all this stuff. And it was beautiful. I mean, I had that feeling of those cords being just ripped off of me. And that home feeling. So it's, it's a beautiful thing, guys. It's a beautiful thing. It was beautiful. Just the structures, everything about it was incredible. And after that, we were exhausted. We, came back to the place and ate great food, by the way. Oh my gosh, guys, great freaking food. I'm saying this place is, there's a lot of vegan, vegetarian options, a lot of organic, the vegetables are so fresh. And so we went to this place called Cafe Ubud, and beautiful place, so many different options. I mean, this food was amazing. I had Jamaican jerk chicken. I'm like, I'm eating jerk chicken in Bali. This is incredible. With this fresh salad and this drink. I mean, it was so freaking good. So we ate there and then we turned back to the Airbnb, and I passed out, you guys, at 6 p.m. I had my spiritual reading at 8 p.m. that night, but I passed out at 6. I set my alarm to get up to meet with Chelsea, and I was like, ugh. I was like doing it in my bed. I'm like, she's like, guys, do not let her fall asleep. Anyone who's at a reading with Chelsea knows she always prays. And yeah. And what that reading, guys, let me talk a little bit about my reading. They're always so incredible, but this one was extra incredible because I wanted to know more about angels and my angels in the angel realm in general. And so I was talking to her, and, Chelsea has told me that I have the most angels that she's ever read from anybody that she's ever read. She said, usually, 90% of people have 1 to 3 angels. It's like a small percentage have, up to 10 angels. And then she said she hasn't really seen only one other person other than me that has more angels. And she said the guy had like 15 or something, but guys, I have 40 angels and sometimes I have more. And so I made her go to the angel realm because I want to know about these things. What does this even mean? What does it mean? Why I got so many angels? Thank you, angels. But I wanted to know why. So I'm like, we're visiting the angel realm. And she was standing there and she was like, basically saying that she's like, I know some of them are archangels because I'm standing there and I'm literally up to their shins. Like, she's like, I'm up to their shin. They're gigantic. And I was like, okay. She was like, they look very busy. I don't want to bother them. And I'm like, what do you mean they're busy? I want to know what these angels do. Why are they busy? So she found a woman angel, a smaller angel, and she was asking the angel these questions. And they're busy because what they're doing is they're fighting the spiritual war of light and dark on the inside of the angel realm. So behind the veil, they're energetically taking care of what's happening behind the veil. So they're always working for us, guys. Your angels are always working for you. They're never just chilling in a room, like watching you. Like, it was funny. My girl was like, I wonder what your angels were doing back when you was being crazy, like sipping tea, like, this bee did this again. Like, I told her not to do it, but she did it. It's so funny. I'm like, but it's all for a purpose and a reason. And that's one of the questions I even asked my spiritual advisor. I was like, yo, when I was literally doing fraudulent stuff, breaking the law, I was like, what were my angels doing then? Because I was adding to darkness, not light. I wasn't trying to wake up the world back then. I was selling drugs and hustling, trying to get by. But it's all part of the process. That's basically what they said. It's all part of the process. I mean, I had to go through those things. I had to experience that stuff so I could be here today talking about what it is that I'm talking about with you guys. And, it was crazy because one of the first times that Chelsea read me, she said that I have a huge responsibility in this lifetime, that I signed up for a huge responsibility. And so I need all the support that I can get, basically, because I contracted before I got here. And so I was asking her also about my otherworldly beings. And I was like, why do I have so many things that try to connect with me? That why do I pull from so many places? And she was saying that, well, my angels were like, we only know about the angel realm. We don't really know about the other things you connect with. But it's like I contracted with a bunch of different beings to sign up for the life that I'm living before I got here, right? So I contracted with the angels. Yes, I sign up to be a spiritual soldier in this lifetime, to be on the front lines and really fight this fight of light and dark and try to wake up and help the world come into a new consciousness. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Guys, the energy here makes you emotional, okay? It literally pulls out like different things. I mean, I was laying in my bed and different traumas were coming into my head that I didn't even know I had consciously. That's what the energy does here. Wow. But so all that to say, the angels were just, they were saying, I mean, I have a big responsibility on this planet to try to really, wake up and help people to live their best lives, to realize that we have the power to create whatever the F we want to create in this life. Nothing is freaking off limits. All you have to do is align and heal. And then the world is your playground, I am living proof of this. So that mission and is the reason why I have all of this spiritual support and why I have 40 plus angels, because I'm literally, and I always talk to my spirit team. I always talk to them and I tell them I'm ready for my mission. I've been ready for my mission. I will not fail you. I will not fail. I will butt up and fight against whatever I have to fight against to stand in my freaking truth and inspire others, not change others, but inspire others to change, because I've changed. And I don't care how embarrassing it is to share my history. I mean, I was thinking about it. These Balinese people they don't know me. A lot of people are flying here from other countries. They don't know me. And I'm about to share with them some of the deepest, darkest parts of my history, my life. And it can be scary and embarrassing and raw and real and exposing. And I'm willing to do that, because I feel like the only way that you empower yourself is when you own your story. Your story is what has made you. And all of us have a history. And when you're watching some of these spiritual leaders, not that it's bad, but it's love and light. It's always love and light. It's always love and light. But it's like, life is not always love and light. Life is dark sometimes. Life can kick your freaking ass sometimes. And so it goes from polarity, light, dark, and when you're in the darkest places, it's like, who are you in those moments, and how do you go through those moments? Do you learn and grow? It's that. So that's kind of me and who I am. I'm not love and light, guys. I mean, I am full of love. I am full of light, but I'm freaking raw, man. I mean, I've never seen nobody talk about what I talk about. I've never seen nobody that has, been kind of where I've been and shown up like how I have. But I see that so many people have been in all of the situations that I have been in. So that's why I want to expose and be real, because then people can understand and see, hey, she did that. She has a criminal record. She was on drugs, alcohol, and freaking just all this stuff. She was a stripper. She freaking did all this crazy things, but now she's here. And so if you can align and relate to somebody, then it gives you hope that you can do it too. So that's me. That's who I am. That's who I'm showing up as. So anyways, my rant about my spiritual advisor meeting and all these angels, I thought it was really interesting. And I'll tell you why. You have this huge responsibility. I've heard it many times. You have a huge responsibility, huge responsibility, huge responsibility. So yesterday, we go to one of the most beautiful waterfalls in Bali, right? One of the most freaking spiritual places in Bali called the Taman Griya Beji Temple for healing specifically. And this Beji temples are water temples, and they're dedicated to the goddess of rivers and purification. Okay, so Beji. So Taman Griya Beji, this is often a temple that's guided by priests, by healers, and there happen to be rituals there all the time. And the rituals are meant to release negative attachments, restore balance, heal your energy. Okay. And so I'm so honored and blessed that I got to go here because, guys, I mean, like I said, I've had to release a lot the past, 4 months. It's been hard. And I still have those chains, as much as I've tried to heal through it. I've healed a lot, but I still have those chains of emotion, of, those negative, like anger, so much anger still that's, locked in my body. And what's below anger is that grief. Okay. And so I know I still am healing through this process because I still only feel, not only, I'm lying, I still feel that top layer of anger so heavily in my body. And, it's not yet to the grief or the, I don't care part. It's like, I do care. I care a lot. Like, I care so much. So I'm so grateful. I got to have this experience yesterday. So as we walk into this beautiful temple, I'm hearing these screams of people, like these men, like over and over. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of weird. Like, I'm scared. But it was like the energy there settled me. So I walked in calmly hearing these screams, and now I'm understanding, like, there's these little huts that these healers will heal you in, these little huts all over the place. And so some people were letting go of all of that negativity in their bodies. Okay. So it was incredible and kind of scary to hear. But like I said, the energy there just kind of settled me. And so they give you this list of what you're able to pick from to heal. And so I chose deep healing, and I chose aura opening. That's what I chose yesterday to do my healing. And I go into this hut, and this woman, the first thing, I'm not lying, I think they caught it on camera before they had to, go away because it's very spiritual and sacred. They caught it. The first thing the lady said to me, she was like, whoa, your energy is huge. You have a huge responsibility. And I say that because Chelsea says that to me all the time. Like, you have a huge responsibility. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. The alignment, how people can just feel. That's how I know energy is freaking real, you guys. What is behind the veil and beyond the veil is real. And the people that are able to tap into that energy can feel you. You know what I'm saying? This is not the first time that has been said to me. And so the alignment of all of the people that I have experienced in my life that have said the same things to me, it just confirms. It confirms for me. Because, guys, sometimes, I'm human. Sometimes I want to give up. Sometimes I want to throw in the towel. Like, you know what? Let me just go get a job. I mean, especially with this dark night that I've just went through. It's like sometimes throughout the dark night, I have wanted to throw in the freaking towel because it's like I see other things that are happening. I see these lies, the deceit, the betrayal, the wild things. And I'm like, how is this happening? How? When I know my heart, you know what I'm saying? I know my energy. I know how I feel and what I've done in my life and what I've done in the past. I know how hard I've worked. I know how hard I've loved. I know how hard I've just done all of these things. And for all the things to have happened, to me. But I got to turn it around every time I go there. Victimhood. You know what I'm saying? That's me being a victim. That's me starting to blame my external circumstances, which is normal, guys. It's normal. Victimhood is seductive because it takes the blame off of you. Now you get to blame everybody else for your life. And so every time I want to throw in the towel and I start feeling bad for myself and I'm like, how has this happened to me? I did everything. Like, how? It comes back to me, look inwards. It's like my spirit team. I can hear them talking to me. I can literally hear them just coming through me and talking to me every time in those moments where I'm like, this is like just going crazy, right? Just coming to me like, no, That's not your path to throw in the towel. You're not supposed to go work in a corporate job. Like, what are you talking about? Calm down. So I always return back to me, guys, but it's not to say I don't have those feelings, that my feelings are not hurt, that I don't feel betrayed, that I don't feel abandoned, that I don't feel discarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have all of these feelings, especially, especially recently. So it's hard to turn it around and come back to the light sometimes. But I'm saying that every time you decide that, it just shows your character and shows your character and steps you more into your purpose. Because what I know is that I'm moving with the light. I'm moving with integrity. I'm moving as my higher self. I might have the feelings of wanting to give up. I might have the feelings of being angry and wanting to just go off and just, say crazy things and expose and just blah. Everybody's asking. Like, everybody always asks, what happened? I'll never say it, because that would put me into the energy of being a victim mentality and just blaming external circumstances for what I created in my life, because we created everything that's happened into our life, everything. And that's how you gain the power back for your life. You take responsibility for it, period, point freaking blank. And I'm not about to be out here weak letting other people control my reality. I control it. So I turn it back around, but sometimes it's hard, not gonna lie. So anyways, as I'm laying here, this woman is telling me like, whoa, you have a big responsibility. And then she started going deeper into, my energy. And she's like, you're a healer. And I was like, you could say that. Like, you could say that. You're a healer. I'm like, okay, yes, I hope to be, I hope that I am out here helping people heal. That is literally what I want to do for people, because I know the depths of darkness of the no hope place and the wanting to die and like wanting to just go away and go in a corner and literally cry forever. I've been there so many different times in my life. So I want to be a healer. I want to help people get out of those places. So I'm like, yes. I'm healing. Yes. And she's like, well, you've been through something big recently. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I can feel it, I can feel it around you. And I was like, okay. She's like, lay down. So I lay down and she goes into this healing, and it lasted for about half hour, I would say. And she was chanting and doing sound and having fire and lighting incense. And I mean, whoa. At this one point, she told me, she put these stones in my hands and told me to raise my hands up and just like bang my hands down, get it all out, which is so interesting, guys, because our physical bodies hold on to trauma. Okay. We hold on to all of these different things that we've gone through in our life. We can't just let things go from the mind. We have to let things go from the physical body as well, or else we will still continue to have triggers and continue to live in the past, because we have not cleared it from all three things: mind, body, soul. So it reminded me of trauma release, as she's telling me, bang your hands down, throw them all the way up, and then bang them down as hard as you can. And I did that like 20 freaking times. And I felt things, just anger. I felt chains. I felt sadness. I felt grief. I felt betrayal. I felt all of that stuff just leave every time I would just bang my hands down. And then I understood these people are screaming. They're letting it out. They're letting all of that energy go from their energetic field, from their physical body, from their minds. They're just letting it all freaking go. And I felt so much lighter after I did that. I felt weird at first, because I was like, what am I just bang my hands down? Okay. But I kept on doing it, and I was like, whoa, every time I banged them down, it was like a surge would just release from my body. It's like I could feel the vibrations of whatever was, latched to me. Just it was kind of like almost like the waterfall experience that I had. It was like, just these change, this heaviness leaving my body. And, after that part was completed, it was weird because I felt so light that it was like the ground under me almost disappeared. It was like I was floating. I was like, this is crazy. I feel crazy right now. And I just kept my eyes closed and I let her do her thing. But I'm like, am I still here? Like, where am I? Like, literally felt like the ground had left me and I started to float upwards. And then I was just like laying upwards from the ground, like this much. And I just hovered there. And I was like, yo, what is this? This is crazy. But I went into my body and I felt cleansed. That's why, guys, that's why I'm saying people need to experience this. People need to come to Bali and go here and experience this healing. I know that it's mixed with, the healer woman. She's very talented, along with the Bali energy. I mean, the healing energy that's here, along with the temple, the resonant, the energy within that temple and the water. So she told me to sit up and we were completed. And then she blessed me. And so she took this bowl of water with all these flowers and she took this thing. I didn't expect this, guys. It was so crazy. Amanda, the name of the place is called Taman Griya Beji Temple for healing. Taman Griya, Griya Beji Temple for healing. That's where I was at. So she takes this bowl and she dips it in the water. And I thought it was going to be little sprinkles of water, guys. No, this was like a huge splash. It was like, whop. I was like, it went in my eyes. It was like a huge, like, it was a lot of water. And she kept doing it. And so I just closed my eyes and let her, it was dripping down me. And even that, when the water hit me, I was like, yo, I felt like, it was like I don't know. I can't even explain it. It was like a surge of energy just hitting my face and hitting my head. And then she did that 7 times. And then she told me to drink the water 7 times. So she put it in my hands, drink the water, drink the water, drink the water, drink the water. And I was like, I hope this is clean water. It's like, no. I was like drinking the water. I felt so light, you guys. So freaking light. And then after all that was over, she took a huge handful of flowers and threw it at me and it just landed everywhere. And I was covered in flowers. And she was like, your healing has been complete. And, you have released the dark energy. You've released the chains. And when I sat up and started walking back to where my party was at, I was like, yo, I felt like I was freaking floating. Okay. Literally floating towards, I wasn't walking. It was like my body was in spirit and I was just, and, my assistant saw me and they were like, are you crying? Because my whole face was wet. I was like wiping the water out of my eyes. I had all these flowers on me. It was like so crazy. Like, are you okay? I was like, I'm so good. It's like, I'm good. I was not crying. I almost cried during it though. It was very powerful. So guys, that was one of the most profound experiences I've had in my life. The healing in Bali at this temple. That's why I'm giving scholarships for my retreats because we going here, okay? Whoever's coming to my retreats next year, we go into that temple and we're getting healing. Because I felt like just stuff sucked out of me, I mean, and Chelsea, my spiritual advisor, always tells me Bali is going to change you. It's going to change you because you are going to let go and release and just, this is the beginning of your life. Basically, my spirit team was saying that the other night when I met with them, like I signed up for 50% suffering and 50% amazingness. Okay. And so I've lived the 50% suffering. I'm there right now. I was in or even before now, I've been in my middle phase, right? Where I don't know what I am, who I am, what I'm doing with my life. That's been like the middle phase that I've been in. And now being in Bali, my spirit team, Chelsea, this healer, everybody that has been around me knows and feels like this is the beginning of the rest of my life. And so when I released that negativity and got that stuff out of my body and soul and energy, it's like I just felt like a freaking floating energy. It was like I never even felt my body. It's like I left my body and that feeling has continued. It's continued with me. And my dreams last night were so freaking vivid. I mean, the most vivid that I've had in a long freaking time. It's like I just went to another dimension and lived that life real quick. And there were so many messages, which is another thing about Bali. It's like listen to what comes to you while you're here, because everything is a purpose. Everything has a purpose and meaning for you. So, I talked and wrote down my dreams, and incredible, guys. I mean, last night something happened, and I accidentally, I don't really look at things that upset me, because I try to focus on what I can control, because no amount of stress is ever going to be good for any circumstance or situation. So I always focus on what I can control and never pay attention to things that'll upset me. But unfortunately, my human self was like, let me just see something. I went to something, and it really messed me up last night. Now, when I say it messed me up, if I would have been before this, I think before this healing, before entering Bali, before being here, if I would have seen what I saw last night, I would have had a whole thingy, right? I would have just been angry for a week, and trying to just be sad and throw in the towel again. All those humanly emotions would have came over me for a long period of time, because what I saw was so upsetting. And last night, I still got upset. Oh my Jesus. I still got upset last night, but it's like that feeling of calm came into my body again, and my physical body kind of left. And it was so crazy, because like I said, I can hear my spirit team. I can hear my higher self all the time in all the situations, but they were so loud last night, so loud that I was like, shut up. I was like, let me be human for a second, be angry. Like, they were almost, it was so loud in me. Your path is your path. Continue being on your path. What you saw is nothing to do with you. That is not your path anymore. You focus on what it is that you need to focus on. And it was like, it kept on saying. I was like, okay, you're right. I surrendered. But I let myself feel the emotions. That's how you let things go, guys. But I would have not reacted like that, I don't think, if I wouldn't have had the experience that I had at this healing temple, because I released so much there. And, it just reminds me and continues to remind me that, guys, there is spiritual warfare that is happening on this planet. There is a huge fight between light and dark, period. A lot of us are being tested. All of us, actually, are being tested, and especially the ones that are very awake and aware, especially the people that are even attracted to my information, are in my community, are resonating with me, because you can't resonate with someone that you are not like, that you cannot mirror. Okay. I mean, you don't attract who you want. You attract who you are, not only in relationships, but friendships, but even resonance, so everybody on here, if you're not that guy, you're resonating with me and my information. Therefore, you are being tested spiritually. Right now is such an important point in all of our lives and on the planet. This period of time is so important. We have been living through the awakening of the consciousness of humanity. We are living this, guys. I mean, 50 years ago, consciousness, awareness, this stuff was not a big thing. Now the collective is starting to wake up, and we are living this. And we are not just me, y'all. We are a big portion and a reason of why the collective is shifting into being awake. All of us are being tested right now. Every single last one of us. And I know y'all are, because y'all are resonating with me. And I always say, it's never about when things are good, dandy, awesome, and phenomenal, because even the darkest people can act perfect in those situations. They can act like the most greatest freaking prophet of life, it's deep. It's deep. But that is not the test of humanity. That's not the test of what we're here for. The test of what we're here for is, do you stand in your truth? Do you stand in integrity? Do you stand as your higher self when things get hard, when things get to a point where, you have those feelings of anger, of betrayal, of abandonment, of deceit, of stress, of feeling like things are unfair. In those moments, who are you? That is the test that we are all experiencing now. We are being tested because at some point, you guys, the world is crazy right now. The things that are happening that I'm seeing, it's crazy. You can't avoid it. It's everywhere. Y'all seen it. What happened last week? It's everywhere. This stuff is everywhere. The divide is everywhere. You can't avoid it. Like I said, I try to control, what I take in, and I saw it, and it's like, this is where we're at. This is where we're at, and it's people that stand in the light as their higher selves and choose better every time when things get hard, not when things are good. I can always choose good when things are good. The most evil person in the world can always stand in good when things are good. But when things are horrible, when people are attacking you, when people are discrediting you, when people are being awful towards you, unfair towards you, when abandoning you, just being the worst people towards you, can you still be that person? Can you still stand in your light? Because all of us experience this either on a macro level, like I did, or micro levels every day through little confrontations that you may have. People with, disbeliefs of certain things that have different belief systems as you, it's the divide. We don't understand that all of us are so dynamic. That's what makes this life interesting. We don't have to have the same beliefs, period, point blank. That's why this stuff is so, it's crazy to me. How are we fighting each other because of different belief systems? We're supposed to have different belief systems. We've had different lives. We've had different traumas we've experienced. We've had different things that we've had to go through in our lives to make us look at the present moment differently. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what's supposed to happen. But instead of us understanding each other's differences and accepting each other for who we are, we want everybody to think how we think. We want everybody to believe what we believe and perceive how we perceive. That's impossible. It is impossible to do that because we've lived different lives. We signed up for different things before we incarnated here. We didn't sign up for the same life. Do you know how boring it would be if we all thought the same way, lived the same life, looked the same? It would be so boring. That is not the point. That is the point of the reason why we came here, to be different. Because guess what? We come from a place where everything is one, where we are all one, where there is no change, separation, or difference. That's why we came here, to experience the difference, to experience the separation, or the illusion of separation. So we could be different and have different portions of God. So we could come here and expressively create who we are, apart from who you are, who they are, who that person is. We are different. And once we learn that being different is to be honored, that's the reason we're here. That's the reason we exist. That's the reason, and to accept people's differences. That's why, guys, I don't try to change anybody, because you can't change anybody. If look, my mother is so deep into the matrix. She was deep into politics her whole life. She just has her belief systems and believes everything she sees on the news. It's just like, she's just not like me at all. But yet, when I first woke up, I was trying to change who she is. Now I know and understand, no, her journey is her journey. And because she's so different than me is why I am so who I am, because she's poured into me the things that I never understood, that I still don't understand. And just because she's different inside of the matrix doesn't mean that she's a bad person, because my mother is a walking angel. She feeds the homeless every single weekend. She's in her almost 80 years old, feeding the homeless, cooking for hundreds of people. I mean, she goes out of her way to help others all the time. And just because her belief systems are different than mine and she believes everything on the news doesn't mean that I need to change her because I think that I know what I'm talking about. Honestly, we don't ever know nothing. None of us. We don't know. We think certain things. I don't believe everything I see on the news. She does. Who's right? Who knows? At the end of the day, none of us really know until we cross over and completely, see our lives and what it was. We don't ever know what's really going on. We come to a conclusion from our past experiences, from our past judgments, from the things that we went through in the past. We come to a conclusion about the present moment. And that conclusion and perception may be and is completely different than another person's because of their past experiences. So the reason and the divide, the reason why we're fighting right now because of different belief system is freaking it's disgusting to me. And then so much so that we come into violence for it. And I'm not just speaking about what happened last week. This stuff has been going on forever. Forever, guys. There's a whole freaking little war happening in different places because of different belief systems. We got to wake up. It like hurts my heart. Tiffany, I see you. I'm sensitive too. It hurts my heart. It does. And I hope that for people who saw the things, I hope that we all can come together and respect our differences and step into our power and understand that, we are here for a purpose and a reason. And that is to find our own divinity, come into our own power and exude our creativity, our different creativity, all of us. All this negative programming, all of our trauma that we've experienced in life has created such division, such divide. And once we can know and come back to ourselves, it's honestly just pain. The reason why people fight, the reason for violence, it's because they're living in pain. Because when you're not living in pain, when you're filled up with your own love and you're expressing your creative power on this planet and living in alignment with source, God, universe, then you don't have the need to attack people, to talk smack, to have violence. The last thing you want to do is fight. Because you're so in alignment with love, because all God, universe, source is love. So when you are filled up with that, it's impossible for you to do the things that I'm seeing on the freaking news and what's happening. It's impossible. The person that went through that and did that, so much hatred, so much grief in their bodies, in their souls, not in their souls, but in their bodies. In their energetic field, probably, in their minds, twisted. We can't change nobody, you guys. We can only change ourselves, but we have to make that decision to take our power back every single freaking day. Every day, we have to make the decision to come back into our power, to realize that we create our reality, to turn that mirror around on us and take responsibility for all of the actions, all of the things, all of the stuff that happens in our life, and to fill ourselves back up with what we need so we are able to help others in a way that is not toxic, so that we are able to pour from overflow, because we are so filled up with that energy of love, of who we are, that now we're able to just exude that outwards. It's toxic even for us to pour from an underflow. I was living in a toxic ass space for a long freaking time in my life because I thought it was my responsibility to do everything for everybody else all the time. Put all the stuff on my back and just bring everybody with me and just do it, pour and pour and pour and pour, even though I was not pouring into myself. I thought that's what I was supposed to do because it was my responsibility. That is toxic. That is why that I have literally went through this dark night and experienced what I experienced. Because now I fully understand. Every cell of my body understands. You can help people being in that energy, but you're not helping yourself. So when you're doing that, you're literally pulling from the collective. You're pulling energy from the collective because you are not authentically who you are, living in your space of an overflow. You're pulling energy, negativity from the collective, and you are building resentment up in your body, and you're building hatred, all of these negative things by helping everybody else when you can't even help yourself. So it's not about us trying to change people. It's us changing ourselves. It's us doing for us and literally coming back to who we are. And stop making excuses for the reasons why you can't fill yourself up. It's priorities. We have priorities in life. And what are those priorities? The priority should be God first, then us. And I have a whole child that's turning 13 in 11 days. But I put me first. You want to know why? Because if I put him first, which I did so many times in my life, then I'm pouring from empty. And energetically, he feels that. But now that I put me first, oh my God, our relationship is like that is we are so freaking close because now I have an abundance of energy to give him. And I'm not walking around stressed, drained, and freaking walking around with resentment against everyone in my life and my whole world because I'm doing for everybody else. No. I finally come to a space, wow, I'm giving to him because I have the energy to. I'm spending time with him, not exhausted, not burnt out, not tired, but presently. Literally, like I can feel him now in those moments that we've had recently. Beautiful moments. That's why I have learned. That's why I've had to go through what I've went through so I could come to this moment in my life. Because when you can fill yourself up, when you can align, you become your higher self. Until you do that, you're not that. You're not your higher self. Because your higher self always wants you to align. And you cannot align if you are not aligned. So that's what I'm saying. You know, once you can give yourself what you need, take those moments of rest, listen to what you need. We've been so conditioned, especially in the Western world, just to work until we die, to stress that we're supposed to be stressed out, that it's normal. It's not normal. We're not supposed to be workhorses. We are supposed to give ourselves and our bodies what we need. Time, space, nutrition. Once you can do that, take those moments for you. Sit down and eat a conscious meal. Don't stand up while you're eating and work while you're eating. We don't even do that. Like, what? Take those moments in the morning, meditate, do whatever you need to do for yourself to get you in the right space, the right energy for the day so you can be that good person. Have to give to yourself. And once you can do that, you become amazing. You become magical. And you're affecting others, even if you're not physically helping others. But if you're energetically in that space of alignment in your higher self, you are giving to the collective. You are affecting others energetically in ways you can't even see. I mean, on my walks, when I'm literally in so much alignment, I just wave my magic hands at the cars going by. And I know I'm probably affecting them energetically just because of the energy that I'm holding. You want to know why? Because I see it in people that drive past, walk past. Because as they walk past me, wow, they light up. They smile, and it's a smile of wholeness. So even when you're not physically doing anything, like my mother feeding the homeless every freaking weekend, but you're energetically in a place of alignment of you're helping others energetically. Our thoughts travel 10,000 miles. They've done this in science now. Science proves that our thoughts travel that freaking far. And do you think that when you're in resentment mode, pouring from empty cups, exhausted, do you think that your thoughts are good, are whole? No, you're energetically affecting other people in a negative way. So come into your own alignment. Give to yourself. You're not only affecting you, but you're affecting so many other people in ways that you can't even see. And now I have to go eat some breakfast. I'm starving. I fasted since yesterday. I've been doing intermittent because, like I said, I gained a little weight. So I've been doing a little intermittent fasting, and I'm starving now. And I'm about to go to this sound bath place today to film a couple podcasts. And then we're going to Russell Simmons Retreat Center tonight. And, today's going to be another beautiful day. And I can't wait just to be on here again with you guys and talk about my experience here. And so you guys can, watch how Bali changes me, because I can feel it changing me. I literally can feel it. And, I love all you guys so much. I really do. All you guys in here, Taryn and Amanda and Tiffany and Rivette and just everybody that has, my community. I love you guys. Oh, let me just say, before I get off of here, my early bird special for my mentoring, it ends in, I think it's 2 days for you guys. It ends on September 15th. So right now you guys can get my mentoring program for $20 a month or $200 a year. And on the 15th, it's going to change to $30 a month and $300 a year. Let me paste it in the chat really quick. My mentoring program is really special to me, you guys, because I created a 7-step method throughout all of my 20 years of healing. All of my over 100 modalities that I've done, and I've picked out the best ones and kind of just thrown it into 7 steps that people can follow. And I'm guaranteeing that your life will change for the positive if you follow my 7 steps. And that's within my mentoring program. We also do bi-weekly mastermind meetings. I'm going to bring in special guests sometimes. We also have my meditations, my activation prayer. I'm going to continue to record specific meditations for my mentoring community. I'm in there engaging almost daily. I think I'm in there pretty much daily. It's hard being on this different time zone and being like out in the field and just being in another country, but I still try to be there. We had the last day of the challenge that I ran in there. So it's a really, really great growing community, guys. And, check me out. That's all I got to say. Visit the link and check me out. Taryn's in there. Amanda's in there. And, my heart and soul is in there, to be honest. It really is. And like I said, it took me months to launch my mentoring program, freaking months, because I wanted to launch it at a price and a place where everybody could afford it if they really want this healing. I didn't want to do some $2,000, $5,000 thing. I do mentor people for a year, one-on-one for 20 grants. But I didn't want to do that because I want everybody that needs it to be able to afford it. So that's why I came out late with my mentoring program and did it the way I've done it. And so my early bird special, guys, ends September 15th. And it's still affordable. Even after the 15th, it's still affordable. So, yeah, if you want to tap in with me on a deeper level, if you really want to go into this healing, if you really want to change your life and create what you are meant to create on this planet, and you want to heal with me, because guys, I am not done healing. Every day is more and more and more. And I will continue to heal for the rest of my freaking life. So if you want to join this healing journey with me, beside me, then check me out. Check my mentoring program out. It's fire. But as I always say, guys, if no one told you today, I love you. And I love you for just existing. And I appreciate all who has joined me here today. I appreciate everybody. Even if you don't like me, even if you troll me, I appreciate and send you the most love. because the people that are suffering are the ones doing that, and they need it the most. Remember that, guys. The ones even that are supporting me so much, I love y'all so much, but give some people love that are hating today. That's my challenge. Or tomorrow. I think it's the evening in America. So give people love that are doing bad to you. Send them love energetically, physically. Do something for those people, because those are the people that need it the most. Because ones that just exude love and light, we don't need a whole bunch of love from everybody else because we're pulling from source, you know? Yes, after last week in America, for sure. Yes, let's all literally, guys, do a prayer tonight, you know, and really just try to exude your heart space out to others. For real. I will. All day. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening to me, listening to my rant. I'll be getting into it. I love y'all so much. Check out my mentoring program, guys. And I will be back on here soon, letting you guys know more about my experiences in Bali. Love y'all. Peace, peace, peace.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and don't necessarily reflect those of the producers or affiliates. We do not guarantee the accuracy of the content. Please verify information and seek professional advice when needed. By listening, you agree not to hold us liable for any actions taken based on this content. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you enjoy the episodes ahead. Love unlimited, feel unlimited.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to stay on this journey with me. There is so much more ahead. Courses, mentoring, healing circles, retreats, safe spaces to heal and grow. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and stay connected. We are not alone. In this journey, we're on it together.